this shows UCLA's revenue. So UCLA is a really big organization. Its operating budget this year will be a little bit over $4 billion. And you may be surprised to learn that of that $4 billion, about 13% of the money is from the state of California. And when I came here, I was certainly surprised to learn that. I would have thought perhaps that about half, or certainly no less than a third of the funding came from the state of California. It's about 13%, and that's a percentage that actually has been shrinking over time. The primary reason that it's been shrinking over time is that the other parts have grown really rapidly. So the yellow sections, for example, include the medical center. They include sales and service operations, which is primarily outpatient services provided by the School of Medicine and the School of Dentistry. And there's auxiliary operations, which are things like the housing, student housing, and parking. You can also see a very large red section. That is extramural research, contracts and grants. UCLA is consistently in the top 5 nationally in research support. In some years, it grows as high as number 2 or number 3. The only university in the country that is consistently higher in terms of research support than UCLA is Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. University of Washington in Seattle is a close competitor for UCLA, but basically we're in the top tier of research universities. So what is it about the state funds that is so important? Well, the state funds support the core. This is how we pay for faculty salaries. This is how we pay for the basic operation of academic and administrative departments, ranging all the way from the philosophy department to the payroll office to the police department. The state funds are what make UCLA go and make possible our ability to leverage the other revenue sources that give us in its entirety a $4 billion a year operation. Even though it is not the majority or even close to the majority, it is the vital core of what makes UCLA possible as a public university. Private universities, instead, that do not receive state funds in this way, rely on endowments and on much larger levels of tuition from students than UCLA charges. UCLA does have an endowment, but it is much smaller than those enjoyed by most other comparable private universities. And the overwhelming majority of the endowment is restricted, meaning that it hasn't been given for the general operation of the university, but instead for specific purposes or programs. And so it is not generally useful to us when we need to cover the loss of state funds due to budget cuts.